Foremost, Dylan, when I'm talking to you about this over the last week, you sound as convicted, you sound as ready, as prepared to be a Bulldog as really rarely few guys I ever get the chance to talk to. Dylan, I mean, what's going through your mind right now? Why was it Georgia?
I mean, I think, all around, academically and, the football side of things, I mean, I think this is going to be the best decision that I make in my life. I mean, it was definitely a hard decision to make. And, I think that, I feel the chemistry at Georgia. I feel the recruits there that are and the players that are already there. I feel a bond with them, and I feel a serious match, with them. And I think, if I really want to play at the next level and put myself into that first, second round draft pick, I got to surround myself with the best people in the country. And, there's no better place to do that than Georgia.
Dylan, I think maybe 6-7 minutes ago, right at 3:05 Eastern time from your home, you got on the phone with a Zoom call. Kirby Smart, Matt Luke, smiles all around. What was that like? Let people know what that was like for you. I know that's a goal for your career, what you work for, what motivates you for a moment like this. What was that like for you?
I mean, it's a surreal moment. It's warming. I mean, I got a weight lifted off my chest. I can really focus on me and my family, my home. And I'm proud to represent, the state of Georgia and my family. So it was, it's a great feeling.
What was the difference, how Georgia maybe won the race for you right now? Was it always a feeling that you had to figure out on Zoom meetings? I think it's very rare, but you told me Zoom meetings were kind of the clincher. You're committing a lot earlier than you ever thought you would. Right. What is that like for you these last few months where that was when you decided to be a Bulldog?
I mean, I think, the Zooms definitely helped. And, me being there before, feeling that atmosphere, feeling, the coaches and talking to Coach Smart and Coach Luke and everybody and Coach Cochran and, doing these Zooms with Coach Sinclair and everything, that really gave me a good understanding of my life at Georgia, and I think that doing all these things kind of, I could ask questions that I wouldn't normally ask on days that, if I only had 15, 20 minutes to talk, I mean, we were on Zooms for hours and hours and hours, so I think that we really could go into detail with some things, and that really, helped me make this decision.
I think you said, Dylan, that for you, wasn't just about football. You looked at this decision with football a little bit off to the side or even out of the equation. Right.
I mean, I wanted to go to a school that, I would want to go to, if I never played another snap or another down again, and Georgia's, I mean, it's my home state, and that would be my school of choice, and that's I think that's one of the main reasons I picked Georgia is because, football is going to come to an end one day, and you gotta have something that represents you and what you stand for, and that G, I'm proud to represent that G.
Dylan, can you share with everybody out here how ready you are to get to work with some of these guys in this class that you already feel like are the part of something really special in Athens?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think me, Brock, Micah, a few other kids, Chaz, we've all really bonded, and I think that we've all got one goal, and that's to win a national championship, and there's no better place to do that than Georgia. So we're excited.
All right, guys, as we do with a lot of these broadcasts, I want to say thank you to the Instagram office, the Instagram audience right now. Thanks for hanging out with us. You guys, I'm on the Facebook Live chat with you guys right now. You guys have a question for Dylan. I'll be your moderator. I'll play point guard, and you can find out just what's going through his head right now. Probably he's been a Georgia commitment for maybe 12 minutes now. This was a happy house here in Cumming, Georgia. Let me tell you that. There may or may not have been a breakout of the worm. Maybe on the way.
It's on the way.
It's on the way.
Practice.
You guys have a question for Dylan. One of the things you need to know about Dylan is Dylan is the state heavyweight champion, Class 7A for the state of Georgia out of West Forsyth High School. He went a perfect 46-0, and am I correct in that, 46-0? 46 pins, and you know what they say about offensive linemen and leverage and the ability to play that game inside the trenches? one thing, you got to hear this story. I got a ton of stories about Dylan, but you got to hear this story. How in the world do you pin a dude in 4 seconds? I'm not making this up. This is not some DawgNation tall tale. State tournament, was it second and third round, you pin a dude in 4 seconds?
Yes, sir. I mean, you know, I like to walk into that circle and do my best to, you know, instill fear to my enemy, you know, and you know, we always practice those heavy hands, you know, have heavy hands. And, I mean, I kind of just hit him with the right, and then he kind of just folded, and I just put him on his back, and that was it, you know. And, I mean, that was it. It wasn't too long.
What does the referee do when he pulls your hand up and holds it up? Is he just like, do I still get paid for this? I only had 4 seconds. What was that like? Was that pinning a guy that fast? Did the referee say, good job, son? Or what did your coaches say?
I mean, I think people just were, I mean, they were just like, you know what? You know, I mean, I had a couple people come up to me after that match and were just like, you know, geez, that's crazy, 4 seconds. You know you pinned him in 4 seconds? You know, so, I mean, it was fun, you know, but, I mean, I had a goal in mind, and that was to win state. So that was my main focus.
What round of the bracket was that? Semis, quarters?
I think that was the quarters.
Wow. Wow. Class 7A. Class 7A. Lots of questions are coming in from fans. Jan Armistead just says, welcome Dylan Fairchild to DawgNation. We're super happy to have you. Can't wait to see you play. Lots of go dogs. We got a lineman U. Dylan, this question comes from Mike Log. Hope I got that right, or maybe it's Leger if you're from across the pond. Who are you trying to bring with you? Do you got a guy in mind? Who are you looking to bring to feel this feeling you're feeling right now in your living room? Who's next? Who do you want to be next?
I would say Brock Bowers is the next guy. So I'd say everybody at DawgNation, go follow and hit up Brock Bowers. You know, he's next. So,
man, that boy's already working, man, already working. Somebody wants to do this. Maybe Brian Roche wants to know. He wants you to stand up to see how big you are. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
6'5", 6'4.5", 305, 310. Is that about what you're?
I'm 300 right now. I'm trying to stay a little bit leaner, you know, and just build up that muscle for the football season.
Spencer Quarles says, "Go Dogs! Welcome to the family, Dylan. Can't wait to see you and the Dogs dominate." Somebody's like, will the Worm be the first quarterback sacked? And then wants to know if you're recruiting Emeritus Mims.
Sure. Oh yeah.
How big would he be for the class? Is he like, man, that's that dude?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's you know, one of the best in the nation right now. You know, and I think having him would just put icing on the cake. You know, and he's definitely a guy that we're all after. So everybody go hit up Amarius.
Matt Rukavina wants to know, he says that Coach Luke is picking up right where Pittman left off. I see Lavassier Carroll is already tweeting, go Dogs. Charles Carson Wagner wants to know, what's the bench and squat max right now?
Squat, I mean, I wouldn't say any one rep maxes, but I'd say 550 for 3 or 4. It would be my squat max, and then for bench, I'd probably say 350 for 2 or 3.
350 for 2 or 3 and 550 for your squat max. Is that right? You know what's funny, and I'm sure he won't mind me sharing this, but like you go into his room, you go into like his house, and you got messages on your window. I mean, on your bathroom mirror, and that's probably just something that you need to see every day. I mean, how's that part of your process in terms of motivation, keeping yourself focused?
I mean, those are just, you know, some things that I have that just kind of basic things that I kind of look at every day. You know, I got the 1% in the corner. You know, I mean, my goals are to be that 1%, and you know, you got to, like the mirror says, you know, work the process and you know, just stay with it, control the controllables, you know, and do what you can do.
It's funny. Kathy Aquavia Green says, Great Wall of Georgia. Cody Taylor says, welcome to DawgNation, my brother. You got some Go Get Mims on the feed already.
Oh, yeah.
James Gatlin, you're a funny dude, man. He says, show us how you pin that dude in 4 seconds on Jeff. That might be some workers' comp coming my way if that happened. Killenworthy brings up a good point. He says, and please sit down, the next Great Wall of Georgia just got a little more athletic. Dylan, do you think that's why why maybe you were a great fit for Coach Luke, maybe mobile, hostile, agile, that type of offensive lineman. Did he tell you that, you're what I'm looking for?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, he really made me, feel like a priority. And, I think I'm a guy that, can play, multiple positions, not just, a tackle or a guard or a center. I think I can play, all five on the field. And, I think that's where I'm really going to help Georgia at. And I think I can be a very versatile player for them.
Steve Banks wants to know if you have a daily calorie target. I've never heard this one before on a commitment special before. Do you get with that calories every day and keeping weight up? Maybe that's a wrestling thing, or what have you done with that?
I mean, I wouldn't say calories. I try and eat, a certain amount of protein a day. I'd probably say over 150 grams, a day. I like my chicken.
Guys, I want you to know this story because this is not just about rankings and height and weight with these young men. It's about stories. It's about people. Can you share with people that story you told me a while back when you go to Georgia and it's a big visit and it's the first one? It was probably, late February, early March maybe. And you go and you have a meeting with Coach Smart, and it's a great meeting, but why was that meeting with Coach Smart not as special? And what was saved after that meeting? I think it's a great story of how the Georgia staff wanted to make sure you were offered for the first time.
Right. Coach Smart kind of led me on a little bit and was, saying things, that were making me, thinking, oh, he might offer me, and he never did. But at the end, Coach Luke, we went on a car ride, and he, before we even left, the facility, he looked at me and he was like, I wanted to do this in person, me and you, because you're going to be the guy, or I'm going to be the guy that, you spend most of your time with. So, he just offered me in person, and, that meant a whole lot more to me than just, I guess over the phone or something like that, him really expressing to me that, the kind of guy he is and the kind of coach that he's going to be for me.
Dylan, Cody Taylor just says, I'm ready to see this dog maul a gator. Is that one of those teams that, when you're finally in the red and black, is that a game that you already think that will be a special environment to play in?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think, I'm going to have a great time these next 4 years. And, we're going to win a national championship, and, the guys that are recruiting, the guys that were already at Georgia that are recruiting me, the other recruits, I think we're all focused on one thing, and that's winning a national championship.
Lots of people are saying they're approving your pick of Brock Bowers is the guy to go after. So that's DawgNation approved. Dylan, was there something, I just want folks to know this. How did Georgia recruit you? Can you just share the way Georgia recruited you? Maybe it was the presentation, the Zooms, when you got in there and they showed you everything the program would be about and being a Bulldog. How did Georgia separate itself?
I mean, I think, Georgia's kind of got the obvious. They've got a great football team. They've got a great, program, a great degree. It's a great school to go to. And, I think that they more focused on the family and the relationship side with me. They weren't trying to convince me on the football or academics or anything. Maybe towards the end, they were, and that kind of just sealed the deal. But I think, for the most part, just building that relationship with Coach Luke, was the main thing. And not just Coach Luke, Coach Smart, Coach Cochran, everybody, at Georgia.
Somebody, I think it was a mom a few years back who told me it takes a village to recruit a dog. And I've heard from you, and you say the current guys in the class, Chaz Chambliss, Brock Vandegrift, Micah Morris, those guys were special and important in your puzzle. But you also said a current Georgia Bulldog, you had a chance to speak to him and kind of pick his brain. What did that interview you had with a current member of the Georgia team, how did that help you get the information you needed to make your decision?
He's the kind of guy that's going to give me, the truth, and he's going to, shoot me straight. And, the conversation we had, we talked for about 45 minutes on the phone, and, he kind of just told me, he loves it, and he's not a starter or anything, and that's the kind of guy that I wanted to talk to. And Coach Luke, told me, talk to this kid. He's not a starter. He's gonna shoot you straight, and he's not gonna, BS you or nothing. And he told me, he told me the bad things and the good things, and I'm okay. There's everybody's got bad things. Every program's going to have bad things about them, but I think that really helped me with this decision. Talking to guys like that are already in the program.
Dylan, what are your goals for your senior year? What's the next? You flip the switch now. You've removed the commitment and all those Zoom calls out of your process. What is the next few months going to be like for you? What's going to be your focus?
Grind and dominate. That's it. I mean, just dominate my senior season and win another state championship in wrestling, and then go be a Georgia Bulldog and win a national championship. And just stay consistent with my workouts and my eating schedule and everything, and just grind. That's really it.
You fancy yourself as a little bit of fisherman, huh? How does it feel like getting on the water? And I don't know, you're almost I think you're number 40 overall in the country on 24/7 Sports. But if you had to look at yourself as a fisherman, are you a 3-star fisherman? Are you a 4-star fisherman? What kind of?
I'm not even ranked as a fisherman. I'm not even ranked.
It's not called catching with you. It's called fishing with you, right?
Fishing.
I'm on the DawgNation YouTube channel. You guys have a question? Please give me a shout out. Let me know. We've doing a lot of things. Everybody's getting on to me for swaying a little bit. I love how that, folks. You should do some live television and try to keep that up. Frank Patterson's saying I got some Corona hair going. That's great. For you, Dylan, what are you going to be like when you get on the phone or you try to blow up Brock Bowers or an Amarius Mims? I don't know if you're going to try and pin them to the ground or whatever, but what are you going to say to those guys about why you were ready?
I'm going to tell them, the truth. And for a long time, I was unsure, and I don't think it was until probably 2 weeks ago, I was 100% sure. And, it's you got to work the process and go through your thing. And, I can tell them all the reasons why I committed, but, they're going to do, what best fits them. And, I'll never, try and push a kid or something like that. I think that, everybody's got their own style and everybody's got their own wants and needs in a program. So, I'm going to tell them the truth, about Georgia and tell them, this is a great program and, we're going to win a national championship. And we want you guys to be a part of it.
Good question here from Frank Patterson. He's sounding like an O-line coach. Do you prefer pulling on a sweep or trapping inside? What's your favorite block?
I like pulling.
Why?
Because I can just nail somebody when they're running down trying to hit my running back. I can just kill them right there, right at the line of scrimmage.
Christy, one of the heartfelt members of the DawgNation YouTube family, Christy says, with all that's going on, this is a wonderful distraction. Heart emoji, prayer emoji. We got a message from Kyle Folds, I believe, on our Facebook page. This is pretty cool. He says his late cousin was a huge Dogs fan and would love Dylan. He was 6'5", 320, and he got pinned in the final seconds of the 1980 Georgia 4A heavyweight finals. Basically, Kyle says it's great to see a wrestler like that going to go on and being a Bulldog, man.
Right.
How much has that helped you? If you weren't a wrestler, what kind of football player do you think you would be?
I mean, I don't think I would even be anywhere close to where I'm at right now. I think wrestling, like I said, shout out to that whole sport and, every coach that has surrounded me with that, I just don't think that I would be even remotely close to the same person, mentally or physically without that sport. I think that sport teaches some things that, you can't really be taught, by just regular life. Teaches a lot of discipline, a lot of just things that, life lessons that, you just never give up, never quit, and you just keep moving forward and grind every day. And, I really would have never learned that without that sport.
That's a good wrestling That's a good wrestling recruitment poster for everybody out there. It's funny. Beeve73. I agree with you, man. He says he carries himself like he's 30, so mature for his age. Dylan, what do you want to study in school? Because you could probably handle communications, you could probably handle broadcasting, but what do you want to study in school?
I'm not really sure yet. I like to say business, but I'm probably going to change that 10 times. But I'm not really sure. I like talking to people, so. I mean, maybe it is going to be communications and broadcasts and stuff like that. But, I'm not really sure.
Two quick questions from me. What does this feel like, man? Are you excited? Is your heart racing? I mean, what does this feel like?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've never been more excited to be a part of something and be a part of a team, and I mean, I'm excited to be a dog, and like I said, we've all got one goal, and that's to win a national championship, and that's what I plan on doing. I'm planning on doing my part, and that's the kind of leader I'm going to be. I'm going to lead by example. I might not be the most vocal guy in the room, but I am going to lead by example. So.
All right, guys. That has been Dylan Fairchild. Man, you guys have to be impressed with this young man, what he's bringing to the University of Georgia, what he says, what he means, the way he carries himself. Folks, I've been doing this for more than a minute, and when you see a young man that's, like I told him, I was like, man, I don't care if you're going to Southeast Missouri State. The way you speak about the reasons why you committed, I mean, it is extremely solid. Dylan, what does commitment look like to you? Are you going to take 5 officials, or are you just going to visit Georgia? Everybody's got a different way of doing that. I don't even know if you'll get officials until August, September, October. What is being committed going to look like for you?
I'm all in. I mean, I'm 100% on Georgia. The only school I'm going to go look at is Georgia. I mean, I think I've been really patient with this and picking the right choice. So, me and my family have really, really looked into this. So I think that, there's no more visits to be taken, and I'm a Bulldog 100%. I'm a Bulldog for life. So.